Glad you could join me again today. We're going to talk about gobble, gobble, gobble today. And the reason is because I think you would agree with me that we live in a consumer driven society, don't we? We seem to think that we just can't get enough stuff to jam into our refrigerators, and then stuff to put in our storage units, stuff to cram into our mouths, maybe clothing to clad our bodies, and endless pairs of shoes in our closets. And then there are the trinkets that sit on the shelves collecting dust. We have stuff, and more stuff. And we gobble up every line on Facebook. We fall for the tricks of the online advertiser, and we never stop to think that we may have enough stuff. We just gobble and gobble and gobble without thought. When Halloween came, we gorged on candy. Yesterday, we gorged on turkey. And soon, we're going to gobble up all the gifts that we can amass, even though we don't really need anything. So what is this insatiable desire that we have for more stuff? Why do we gobble and gobble and gobble without thought? Why are we so blinded that we cannot see where it leads? Are we so ignorant that we can't see that we've been duped or sold a bill of goods? Are we so greedy that we are never content? I want to tell you a little story, something I read several years ago. Back in the late 1800s, and yes, that was a long time ago, after the Civil War, people went home and they loved their families, and they started rebuilding society and rebuilding our country, putting things back together. Some of them ventured west and homesteaded, and they became self-sufficient. They were happy with a good day's work, a meal on the table, the family around them, and then to sit on the porch enjoying each evening. But the economists saw that this was not going to grow the country. Back then, you might not know it, but there was no income tax, by the way. And so the government needed to find a way to increase their revenue. And their solution was to create need, to make people feel that they were missing out on something, so the advertising industry was born. New brands emerged, and the newspapers started carrying ads. Outdoor printing became a thing, and door-to-door salesmen brought new products and ideas directly into the homes. And then came radio. And if you had one, and my grandparents did, and they told me that neighbors would come from far and wide to sit around together and listen to the radio. And soon everyone had one. And the radio planted the idea to these contented farmers that they were missing out. It also brought advertising into the home, and soon people were buying all sorts of things. Mail order catalogs came out, and now the farmer's wife could have fancy clothes and decorations for her home. She didn't have to knit or sew. She could just purchase it straight through the catalog. And this created our consumer mindset. Well, by the time they got to the 1920s, it was all in full swing, wasn't it? And sitting on the porch was looking like laziness. Being content meant that you lacked motivation. And we were driving forward with new stuff, more stuff, loads of stuff, gobble, gobble, and gobble. And then came the Great Depression. Well, that adjusted the thoughts just a little bit, but after World War II, everything picked up again. And today, we cannot go anywhere, listen to anything, or read anything that isn't in some way related to selling us something. Whether it's an object or an idea, we're always being pushed to accept something more. We're even told to sell ourselves, to tell our story, to advertise ourselves. Just gobble and gobble and gobble. Okay, well, that's enough of my soapbox. What am I trying to tell you? As I look at it, we're in danger. We may be already there, of losing the point of our holidays. We don't even recognize their meaning because we're so busy gobbling up the trappings. If you let yesterday pass without a thoughtful moment of thanksgiving, genuine, heartfelt appreciation for what you have been given and for those around your table, you miss the point. It's not about the football. Sorry, guys. It's not about that at all. It's about being thankful. It's about being with your family. It's about enjoying the bounty that God has given. And if today you've been gobbling up Black Friday without thought for what you truly need or can afford, then you've been duped by the advertising agency. And in just a few weeks, we're going to celebrate Christmas. It's a holy holiday, recognizing the greatest gift ever given, a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. Will he be buried under your pile of gifts, hidden by all the tinsel and the decorations, overlooked by all the packaging and the incessant shopping? Will you be so busy gobbling that you have no room for him in your inn? Let me encourage you. Push away from the table of consumerism and sit on the porch a while. Stop and count your blessings. Eat a little less. Buy a little less. Appreciate what you have already been given and see if life doesn't become more peaceful and content. In our race to get to the next holiday, let's prepare to celebrate with intent. Let's keep the meaning at the forefront and slow down this consumerism before it gobbles us up. I'll see you next week.